All right. Let's see. Let me go over to my screen here and present. And there we go. All right. All right. So welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Aldrima Harper. I'm a productivity strategist and time management coach where I help coaches, consultants, and service-based entrepreneurs to get back their most valuable asset, and that is their time. Welcome. Um, I'm going to be talking a little bit about goals, and not the typical kind of thing where you talk about, when we're talking about SMART goals. I want to talk today or a little bit about um, your goal setting process and how to approach your goal setting process. And so, again, we're not going to be talking about SMART goals in this episode. We're going to be talking more about some creative tools that you can use in your goal setting process. So when I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in the area as it relates to productivity and time management, goal setting is a part of the process, right? But what I have found, a few things that I have kind of discovered in um, as I've been, talking with other entrepreneurs and a part of my own personal experience is that sometimes there are, some obstacles, some struggles and some challenges that, come about when you're in that goal setting process, right? And for me personally, one of the things that, well, there's several things, and that I'll be sharing, but one thing in particular um, was that I I always kind of had a challenge. I was always challenged in that area of my goal setting process, and so for a long time, I didn't even set goals. And so since I didn't set goals, I didn't reach them. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today is your, goal setting process and how, what are some creative tools in terms of your approach to the goal setting process. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? All right. So again, my name is Aldrima Harper. I've already introduced myself. Um, I guess, just to kind of, finish my introduction, um, I do help coaches and consultants and service based entrepreneurs to get back their most valuable asset, and that is their time. Uh, we look at 7 areas of disciplines: priorities, goals, time management, clutter management, information management, systems and processes, and procrastination. I have found that those are the 7 primary disciplines that's required when it comes to being more productive. And under that umbrella are those 7 disciplines. So today we're going to talk about goals. And before that, just some fun stuff. That's my husband and I on vacation a few years ago. Actually, we were in Myrtle Beach. And so I wanted to make sure that I showed that. But most of all, I like chocolate. If anybody knows me, I am a chocoholic. I make no apologies for it. So I just wanted to share that little tidbit of information about myself so that, you kind of get to know me and, who I am and, just a little bit, you know, just kind of getting to know me, right? So, all right. So again, we're going to be talking about goals. Now, one of the things, like I said, that I found that was a little difficult for me or challenging for me when it came to the goal setting process was, and this is not something that is a problem, but it's something to remember when you are setting goals. And sometimes we forget about the fact that goals are highly personal. So why do I say that? I say that because, it's, and again, I'm using myself as an example. There were times when I forgot how highly personal goal setting was. And so a lot of times I find myself looking at the goals that other people would set, even other people would set for me, right? And so when you keep in mind that goals are extremely personal, that in your goal setting process that you have to remember that these are your goals, and it doesn't matter whether you're holding yourself accountable to someone, if you're perhaps you have a coach or something, and they are helping you in your goal setting strategies. They are still highly personal. So it's up to you and what you want to do and the things that you want to accomplish. That is where your focus should be, and not on how someone else, the goals that someone else has, or even someone else has for you. I hope that makes sense. So goals are highly, highly personal. Another thing sometimes, and again, this is some of the things that I have to keep in mind. But early on, or years ago, when every time I would approach this goal setting process, uh, I had a difficult time visualizing what my goals were. Um, and there were times when it was because I was going through a hard time, whether it was, financially, when you are going through something, financially or personal or emotional or whatever, even spiritual, you have sometimes it's hard to visualize your goals. It's hard to have a picture and visualize, where it is you want to go, where it is you want to be in 5 years. I remember even now, this was years ago, okay? When you go to, an interview, and the person will ask you, well, where do you see yourself five years from now? Well, I don't know. And I didn't know, so I would just kind of make up something, or maybe something, that I heard or what have you. But even in that, you have to keep in mind that sometimes they're hard to visualize because, you have to consider so many things, like where you are. And again, whether that's emotionally, spiritually, financially, sometimes it's hard to visualize your goals. Okay. And the other thing, so even keeping in mind that we're highly personal, it was hard for me to visualize them. It felt like work. And so it was like, okay, you know, this is just a lot of work, right? Now, the good thing about, or the positives on the positive side of that, is that successful people set goals, right? You are not likely to reach any level of success unless you set goals for yourself, right? And so that's kind of, the framework that I want to, um, or the foundation that I want to kind of use for, what we're going to be talking about today. So what we're going to be talking about right now is I want us to kind of explore some creative tools that can help reaching your goals or achieving your goals inspiring again. If you're not inspired by your goals, if they are not, if you don't get inspiration and have a drive or motivation or inspired to achieve your goals, then you're not going to do anything about reaching them or trying to reach them, right? But again, sometimes you need creative tools to help the goal making process or the goal setting process inspiring. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So there are like four that I want to cover. but I'm only going to cover one in this session. And so what we're going to be talking about are vision boards, because vision boards is these are really essential in the goal setting process. Okay. And it's something that I never really considered using in my goal setting process. And so I was always looking at other ways, or the other ways other people would approach their goal setting process, right? And achieving their goals. And it just didn't work for me. So again, that's why it was just difficult, because I needed something to help me to visualize my goals. And so what we're going to be talking about are vision boards, more specifically, um, the the vision board and how they can help you to achieve your goals. Because the one of the crucial things that you have to do, you have to be able to visualize your goals, right? If you can't see it, it's going to be difficult to achieve it, right? When I think about, I've had conversations like with a dear friend of mine who is a vision board extraordinaire, I call her. But she has utilized the vision board in order to achieve her goals, and it inspired me to do so. I used to even go to vision board parties, and I would be like, I don't want to cut out anything, I don't want to cut out pictures, I don't want to do that, but again, what we're going to be talking about here are some creative tools that you can use. So the first creative tool that I'm going to talk about is the physical board, the physical vision board, right? Basically, a cork board, or even just a whiteboard that you can, put pictures on, quotes, things like that, of things that you would like to achieve in your life, right? And again, we're talking about the initial goal setting approach, or the initial process to your goal setting achievements. And so the physical vision board is an amazing way to do that. And it really helps you to kind of crystallize, the goals that you want to achieve in life, right? So use that, whether it's a whiteboard, whether it's a cork board where you can, cut out the pictures and stick them, on the cork board. It's a wonderful way to um, to display and have a visual of your vision and of your goals. Okay. Now, obviously, there are other aspects to this whole goal setting and achieving process. Right now, I'm only talking about your approach, your initial approach to goal setting. Okay. So a physical vision board is an amazing tool that you can use. A shadow box. I have a client that uses a shadow box for her vision board and for her goal, um, her goal setting process, right? And the one thing that I will do when I am, talking to my clients, and so my client uses a shadow box to as a part of her goal setting process. And as I was about to say, so when I am working with clients and we are in the goal setting stage, we I allow them to determine how, what approach they want to take in terms of setting up their vision board. Now, and we'll talk about this in other, videos and other training, but the shadow box, is basically, a very creative way to display your vision. A lot of times, and even like my client, what you would put in a shadow box would be like mementos and things that will um, kind of help you connect with some of the goals that you have in mind. Like, if you enjoy spending time on the beach, and if that's a part of what your goal is, to go on vacation or what have you, you may have some seashells, or you can still have pictures, or even like you see there, looks like someone is getting married. And so you just put different little mementos in your shadow box. And so it's a very creative way and a very decorative way, as opposed to the cork board you know display, in your office. This is a little bit more, uh, creative and decorative, as far as being able to display, part of your vision and achieve in your goal setting process. So you can use a shadow box, instead of a um, a cork board or a whiteboard. Okay. A digital photo frame, that's another way. What I like about this process is, or this tool, is that when you get, in this digital photo frame, you put exactly the pictures that you want to put in there. And it just kind of scrolls through the pictures. And so at any given moment, a different picture of, your vision, or the things that you have for your vision or your goals or what have you, can be displayed, and you can just look up, and then there's a different picture, right? And it's a really neat way to be able to look at your vision and your goals, and be able to have a visual for that. So you can use a digital photo frame. Pinterest. Pinterest is a great way to find images, quotes, create a digital vision board, where you can access it on a regular basis. You can find, snapshots of different images that resonate with you, and keep adding, and keep creating. And you can have different types of vision board. You can have a business vision board. You can have a personal vision board. You can have a family vision board, and it's all digital, in one place. And so um, it's a great way. Now, I'll tell you that for me personally, I actually don't use Pinterest, because for me, it was another platform to keep up with, and it became a little bit overwhelming. So I decided not to use Pinterest, but other people do use Pinterest, and it's a great platform, for a lot of other things, business as well. But it's a great way to create a vision board for yourself, a digital vision board. Now, for me personally, I use my phone. And not that you can't have, your Pinterest um, images, on your phone. But I try to keep things simple. And so for me, I have, like this year, I have 3 images that I look at on a daily basis. I'm not going to go and try to access another platform, right? But what I do like to do in terms of keeping things simple and manageable for myself is I like to have the images where I'm going to look at them all the time, right? And my phone is something that I have with me all the time. So I put the images on there, and I go and look at them on a regular basis, like daily. The other place I will put my images for my vision board is in my planner. And so I have, because I look at my planner every day, I'm going to see those images. I'm going to see that image every day, those 3 images. Now, I wanted to keep mine simple, my goal setting, very, very simple, and just not overcomplicate things, right? And so my images are in my phone and in my planner. I have a hard copy of the pictures in my planner. And when I am planning my events or planning my day or planning, whatever it is in my business or personal, whatever, I'm going to see those pictures. And so the whole thing about, vision board and utilizing vision boards as a part of your goal setting process is to be able to have it in front of you all the time so that you have those reminders. It keeps you focused on your goals. It keeps you, uh, uh, when you see them all the time, it's like a way to have like a check and balance, kind of thing. If that's, I'm not sure if that may not be the best example, but you want a way that's going to work for you, because just like your goals are highly personal, the process needs to be highly personal. So I wanted to share some very, what I think are some creative tools that you can use in your goal setting process. Now, I wanted to share with you something that I believe is going to be very, very helpful as well. I'm going to be, I have an event that's coming up, and I really think will be helpful in this. We're going to be discussing goal setting. It's my 1 day goal setting mastery bootcamp. And so it's going to be coming up. And the thing about goal setting is for you to get absolute clarity and have confidence in the goals that you are wanting to achieve. And that's what this goal setting mastery bootcamp is all about. Um, and as well as having proven strategies for achieving your goals. So many times, and I'm telling you from personal experience, I was never able to achieve my goals because I didn't have the right strategies. I didn't have the I had things that worked for other people, but it didn't work for me. So I needed a way to be able to approach my goal setting strategy, or my goal setting approach has to be something that worked for me, or I was just going to procrastinate. I would never achieve my goals, which I didn't, and now I'm able to. And so you want to make sure that you have proven strategies. And even the tools that I just shared with you, these are proven strategies that help you in the goal setting process. Now, there are other aspects of setting and achieving goals that go along with it. You can't just, you know, look at, and that's one of the things that I have found a lot of times, where people go to these, vision board parties, and, they have all these cutouts and, gluing, the different images to the boards and all that kind of stuff. But then they don't achieve their goals because they don't have any strategy behind it. Right. Well, with the 1 day goal setting mastery boot camp, you're going to have proven strategies. Okay. So what happens in this goal setting mastery, you're going to be given, you're going to be able to set an unshakable foundation. If you are not, if you don't start, it's just like building a house. You have to have some type of foundation. And so with the goal setting mastery bootcamp, you're going to have an unshakable foundation. And you want to think of it like you're building a house, right? And so you want to make sure that you have a solid foundation that's going to ensure that you're going to be more likely to achieve your goals. Because you're going to be able to identify which goals are worth even going after. I can't tell you how many times myself, again, I always use myself as an example. Uh, you know, later on, well, not only was I not achieving my goals, but because they were hard for me to visualize my goals, I wasn't able to identify the goals, right? And so if you can't identify the goals, you don't even know how to go after the goals. So in this training, at this boot camp, you're going to be able to identify which goals are worth going after. So you get an unshakable foundation, and you know which goals are worth going after. You're going to be able to eliminate self-destructive behavior. This is so key. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about mindset. Mindset is 95% of your success. If you don't have the right mindset, you can do all of the things that's right and still never achieve your goals because you don't have the right mindset. And eliminating self-destructive behavior has a lot to do with mindset. And so we're going to help you in this boot camp to eliminate this self-destructive behavior that shows up when you're wanting to achieve your goals. You're going to be able to dream and achieve bigger. That's what it's all about. We evolve as, as entrepreneurs. We evolve. Our goals change. The things that we want to pursue, change, and so we evolve as a person. As humans, we keep evolving, and so you want to be able to dream even bigger than last year. Maybe you went to a goal or vision setting, goal setting type of um, event at the beginning of the year or prior year or what have you, and you're still, not you're off track, or maybe you need a reset, right? And maybe you realize that it's time to dream and achieve bigger. So that's what you're going to accomplish in this goal setting mastery boot camp. Now, uh, all you need to do to find out all the details about that is go to iamproductive.me. Go to iamproductive.me and you'll find out all of the details about the upcoming Goal Setting Mastery Bootcamp. I love this quote by Les Brown. It says, if you set goals and go after them with all the determination you can muster, your gifts will take you places that will amaze you. And so I want to leave you with that, as far as something that's a little bit inspirational for you. And remember those four types of vision boards that will help you in your goal setting process. And hopefully, you'll be more inspired. You'll find ways that will help you in your goal setting process. Now, I'll come back with another video on some other options. This is just one of those um, tools that you can use in your goal setting process. But in the meantime, I want you to go to iamproductive.me and look at all of the details. It's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to working with you, working with each of you who look at this replay or look at this video, and go and check out the one-day goal setting mastery bootcamp. And I promise you, you will leave with a plan. You will leave inspired and motivated, but you also, in addition to your plan, you'll have action steps to help you achieve your goals. So go and check it out at iamproductive.me. So hopefully I'll see you soon, and happy goal setting.